Part 4. My Military Experience, 1977-1980. Chapter 21. From Survival to Privilege, 1978. The year 1977 marked a pivotal moment for China, a nation gradually recovering from the trauma of the Cultural Revolution. Many called the country a ruin waiting to be rebuilt, expressing concerns that the national economy was on the verge of collapse. Change was undoubtedly on the horizon, although its exact shape was uncertain. Then, at the beginning of 1978, a letter arrived that deeply unsettled me. I received a letter from Lin Zhiqiang, a classmate among the brightest and most dedicated students I had known at 6th High. Lin was honest, reliable, and academically talented. He was our class's Red Guards platoon leader and a member of the enforcement team. His letter overflowed with enthusiasm as he shared that he and another outstanding student from Class 2 had both been accepted into the famed architecture department of Tongji University, one of the most prestigious universities in China. Then came the line that caused my heart to sink.
If you hadn't joined the army, you would certainly have gone to college with us, maybe even to Tongji with us together. With your artistic talent, you would have been a natural architect, better than us.
I read those words again and again. A quiet ache welled up inside me, deeper than I had expected. Some vague regret washed over me like an unexpected tide. For the first time in ages, I let myself envision a different life, one where I attended university instead of joining the military, where my days were spent sketching buildings rather than trudging through mud, where I went to lectures instead of waking up at 4 a.m. to a bugle's call. I envisioned it vividly, the campus, the drawing boards, the quiet hum of endless possibilities. But that life had slipped away. That dream faded when I boarded the train to Anhui and entered this isolated, mountainous outpost in Yunling. In late 1977, the Chinese government reinstated the National College entrance exam, known as the Gaokao. This decision sent shockwaves throughout the country, marking the beginning of the post-Mao reform era. For millions, it reopened a door that had remained closed for over a decade. Yet for me, the lightning struck too late. Beneath the vast, indifferent sky over our camp, I sighed. I had missed the moment. My life was now dedicated to the military. Wasn't it peculiar? We frequently think we're acquiring something, only to discover, often much later, that we've sacrificed something of equal value. Was it a hidden blessing or just a harsh turn of fate? Maybe we never genuinely grasp the significance of our paths until we've gone too far to turn back. Soon after I became a party member, I was promoted to deputy squad leader. Then, I received a surprise letter from my mother. She and my younger brother intended to visit me in the army. I was astonished. Family visits weren't addressed in our training manuals, and I wasn't even certain they were permitted. I promptly informed the company commander and the political instructor in a panic. To my surprise, their reaction was the opposite of what I expected. They were delighted.
"Your mother is welcome here,"
the commander said warmly.
"We'll arrange everything."
Only then did I understand that even in the structured realm of the military, family held significance. Beneath the strict veneer of discipline and uniformity, familial bonds were still respected. Or maybe it was because I was a party member. On the eve of the spring festival, the regiment dispatched a special military truck to pick up my mother and my 14-year-old brother. While I waited at the county's bus station, my heart raced with anticipation. At last, I caught sight of her in the crowd of passengers. She emerged with my younger brother, her face marked by the journey and her body bundled against the harsh winter cold. Yet her eyes sparkled with the fierce determination I recognized so well. She had traveled all this distance over snow and countless miles of unknown countryside to see me. Together, we boarded a military truck headed toward the military camp. The road wound its way up the snow-covered mountain. Much like my initial arrival, the scenery remained a vast, frozen wilderness, a tranquil realm of white. She must have been exhausted, leaving behind the warmth and vibrancy of Shanghai for the desolate mountains of Anhui. Yet nothing could stop her. She had come to see her son. Over the following 4 days, my mother stayed at the military camp, bringing along flavors from home sweets, pastries, and snacks from Shanghai, which everyone loved. When I shared them with my fellow soldiers, the whole company cheered with delight. Some of the soldiers from rural areas had never experienced such treatment before.
These are the best snacks I've ever tried,
Everyone exclaimed, their eyes wide with surprise. That spring festival became an extraordinary celebration, a feast of Shanghai delights amidst a snow-covered outpost. She brought our camera, and I used it to capture the soldiers' moments of camaraderie, smiles in the snow, fleeting fragments of our military life preserved forever. I knew she had been worried about whether I was suffering or surviving, but as she watched me in uniform, standing tall among my brothers in arms, her eyes softened. She saw that I had changed, that I had grown, and at that moment, she smiled. She had come to find her son, and she left knowing he had become a man. In 1978, the Army started to place greater importance on education. The reinstatement of the national exam for college emphasized this focus on learning. Consequently, the military began offering soldiers access to various remedial classes. One day, the political instructor called me into his office.
Who in the company stands out in math and science?
Without a moment's pause, I suggested Tong Chunling, a bright individual with a knack for math. As for physics, I offered my own skills. This inspired a sense of recognition among the Shanghai recruits. However, with this new responsibility arose a new challenge: Tong Chunlin himself. Tong was undeniably intelligent, yet equally arrogant. At school, he often clashed with teachers, and now he challenged squad leaders and everyone in the army. Tong was simply a troublemaker to our company commander and the political instructor, too bright, proud, and defiant against authority. Their solution was straightforward. They reassigned him to my squad. I fully grasped their rationale. They believed only I, a native Shanghainese, could handle him. Sounded like another Jiang Guoping. Working alongside Tong Chunlin was exhausting. Even though we never clashed directly, I frequently mediated his disputes, softly reminding him when to yield without hurting his pride. One day I came up with an idea. How about we start studying English together? I proposed. He scoffed in response.
English in the military? Good, why not? I like English.
He was hooked. That marked the start of our daily routine. English became a way to keep Tong occupied, channeling his rebellious intellect into something productive. Unexpectedly, it also became my own means of growth. On that isolated mountaintop, among companions who had never imagined conversing in a language other than their own, we gathered to read, write, and speak English. Two defiant souls seeking refuge in words from afar. This moment would indeed mark a significant step towards my future. Since joining the Army, my biggest challenge wasn't the biting cold or grueling training, it was still my aversion of meat. In a military where meals primarily consisted of boiled pork, stewed pork, and vegetable meat dumplings, my diet was limited to rice, vegetables, and pickled radishes. I kept my complaints to myself. However, something unexpected happened after I became a party member and was promoted to deputy squad leader. One day in the mess hall, as I handed my tray to the cook, I repeated my usual request. "No meat, please." The head cook raised an eyebrow.
What if I fry you some eggs instead?
I hesitated. "Is that permitted? Would that be all right?" He chuckled warmly.
Why not? You haven't eaten meat in more than a year, correct? It's perfectly fine. Just give me a moment. I'll prepare one for you immediately.
In an instant, I received a special privilege with such ease. From then on, whenever the company enjoyed their weekly special meal, a rare feast of meat and bones, I received a golden plate of freshly scrambled eggs instead. Sometimes fellow soldiers would glance at my plate with envy, playfully asking the mess hall squad leader,
Can I have some eggs too?
He would scoff, saying,
You already get to eat meat and still want eggs? That's like a toad dreaming of swan meat. Scram!
I couldn't help but laugh. It was interesting to see how much influence even the mess hall squad leader had. A simple scrambled egg in the army meant luxury to me. Life in the military often revolved around a monotonous routine of drills, marches, and schedules. However, certain events occasionally brought an unexpected thrill to our otherwise mundane days. During the Spring Festival in 1978, our regiment organized an impressive New Year's gala, providing soldiers with a unique opportunity to showcase their talents. Standing in front of a packed hall with more than 1,000 people, I was on stage for the first time, gripping my bamboo flute tightly. I selected a technically demanding solo piece, Whipping the Horse to Transport Grain, a renowned flute composition from the Cultural Revolution period that was frequently broadcast on the radio. For years, from elementary through high school, I practiced this piece tirelessly until its intricate rhythm and melody became second nature to me. As I began to play, silence enveloped the audience. The music flowed seamlessly from my fingers, filling the concert hall. The last note hung in the air for a brief moment before being engulfed by resounding applause. That one performance changed everything. Shortly afterward, I was summoned to the regiment's political department. When I arrived, I sat across from the political commissar, alongside two other soldiers, a trumpeter from another company and a soldier who played the erhu. The commissar wasted no time.
The regiment is contemplating sending some of you to university for music studies.
I froze in disbelief. University? To study music? From the military? It was beyond anything I could have imagined. The commissar continued.
Our regiment has acquired a new accordion. We need someone to learn it and serve as our official accordion player. Who would like to volunteer?
The three of us shared anxious glances. None of us had experience with the accordion, and given our limited understanding, it seemed quite challenging. Noticing our uncertainty, the commissar offered a reassuring smile.
Don't worry if you lack experience. We'll send you to university specifically for that purpose.
We stayed silent. Then the older trumpeter pointed straight at me.
His flute playing is already excellent. He doesn't need more flute training. He should learn the accordion instead. I still need to improve my trumpet skills, right?
He nudged the erhu player. The erhu player quickly nodded.
Yes, yes. He's from Shanghai. He's definitely more talented than us. If anyone can learn the accordion, it's him.
The commissar laughed heartily.
All right. We'll consider it and make a decision later. But all of you need to be prepared. If we send you to study, you must do well. No slacking off. Understood?
We nodded quickly, exchanging nervous glances. A week later, the regiment reached a decision. I was selected to learn the accordion. The political commissar consistently highlighted the importance of this role, reminding me that it was an investment in the regiment's future. I fully understood the weight of this responsibility. Still, a spark of excitement flickered inside me. Since Ms. Gong, my elementary music teacher, ignited my love for music, it has become my refuge. Music had always revealed a hidden gateway to a realm of beauty and meaning, from my father's forgotten bamboo flute to the melodies I practiced in solitude. Now, against all odds, another door had opened. Weeks later, the three of us embarked on our journey. We took a long-distance bus to Jing County town and continued to Wuhu, where we ferried across the mighty Yangtze River. Afterward, we boarded a train to Hefei, the provincial capital, and arrived at Anhui University. As I sat in the university classroom, wearing my military uniform, and absorbed music theory lectures from the professor, I felt as if I had stepped into a dream again. It felt like some invisible hand had been guiding my path all along. For the following 3 months, I dedicated myself completely to mastering this new instrument. I scarcely left the university grounds, moving between classrooms, practice rooms, and dormitories. I immersed myself in music for nearly 16 hours daily, eager to embrace this new challenge. While the other 2 soldiers focused on honing their existing skills, learning the accordion represented a completely new endeavor for me. In class, we engaged in lectures covering music theory, harmonic structures, and chord progressions. For the trumpeter and erhu player, harmony felt unnecessary. Their instruments didn't rely on it. However, harmony was paramount for the accordion. The accordion teacher was excellent. I practiced diligently, carefully synchronizing my left and right hands, uncovering how chords could elevate simple melodies into something rich, complex, and powerful. During the last weeks of university, I began to experience persistent back soreness due to my daily commitment to carrying and practicing the accordion. However, something extraordinary was happening musically. I finally understood the essence of harmony, the way chords added dimension, transforming music from a mere melody into a vibrant, three-dimensional experience. For someone who had started as a self-taught flute player, this insight was nothing short of transformative. It reshaped how I perceived music and the world around me. In later life, it would even shape my understanding of faith and the divine. Harmony was not just music. It was the sound of something greater. Upon my return to the regiment, with the accordion proudly slung across my back, I found the commander and political commissar already waiting, their curiosity barely hidden. They had sent a soldier who had never encountered an accordion to university. What could they expect his return to be like? I gently placed the instrument on my lap, took a deep breath, and started playing a well-known military tune. Their reactions shifted immediately. Eyes widened and jaws dropped in astonishment. They exchanged astonished glances that seemed to say, "How is this possible?" The regimental commander stroked his chin and chuckled.
"This kid studied just a few months and can already play this thing. Not bad. Not bad at all."
The political commissar smirked playfully.
Maybe you should try it too.
The commander snorted.
"Leave that to you educated types. I only care about fighting."
Laughter filled the room. From that day forward, the accordion and I became inseparable. At every regimental gathering, I was there, leading mass sing-alongs and performing for different battalions and companies. Soon, I became one of the most recognizable figures in the regiment, not as a fighter but as a musician.